All right, folks, it's time for the non-musical portion of tonight's open mic. But he's still in touch with the muses, I can promise you that. The bard, the minstrel, it's Simon.
Hi everyone, I'm back. I worked on a chapbook. It's a collection of poems that I wrote last year for the first 5 months. The book is called 5 is greater than the square root of 24, which is actually mathematically true, but it's the first 5 months of 2024 is why I called it that. So I'm going to read 5 poems from this book. I have a couple of copies if you want to read it, if you want to buy it for $5 afterwards, but yeah, I'm going to read 5 of the poems. So it's divided into sections. This first section is called Seasonal. It's all about the weather. So this poem is called As It Lies Wet. As it lies wet. Life goes on, and I breathe in and out, over and again. The rain doesn't fall as evenly as it could, as rapidly as it should, as wet as it would if it ever did. The winter was wet already. I feel bad for the plants, dozing but woken by the season. They stand like a bear, rising from her slumber. The world melts as we sit back watching. We melt always. We melt as well, dissolving. As it lies wet. Thanks. So that was the first section of this book. The second section is called Together. It's about togetherness, about people being not apart. So this next poem is called Turn Around. Turn around. We never stop each other from doing what happens when we stop ourselves, talking out of turn, acting out of place. We don't want to stop ourselves when we don't feel as we should. The surface levels out, becoming a flat line, insignificant. The surface levels out. When we don't feel as we should, we don't want to stop ourselves, acting out of place, talking out of turn. When we stop ourselves from doing what happens, we never stop each other. Turn around. All right, the next poem is from the section called Apart. It's about not being together. Weird connection there. So this one's called Confessional in Tears. Confessional in Tears. The world is numb to everything. The world stays numb in all ways. But you can feel tears as they fall, slowly dripping down from where they came. It is not just the glands that leak. It is from the soul as well. Your eyes close as confession. The Catholic sins stay with you, always with you. Caught in your throat, choking you, and the tears escape as they fall, always dripping. Your eyes open again, confessing sins. It is more than the sensation of the tears caressing cheeks. The sensation runs much deeper, piercing your soul, pulling everything 2 ways. It twists as it pulls, fracturing you from inside. Blind yourself to your own tears. Don't confess to yourself yet. You run down yourself, bleeding tears, clear of color, drenched in sin, a pulsating numbness of all. Confessional in Tears. That one was kind of depressing, sorry. All right, so the next section is about light. It's called Light. The poem is called Silences, 3 of them. I realized today that I'm not safe alone with myself in the woods. The woods are not silence as the rain falls from above, cascading off branches, falling to the ground. The dirt absorbs the rain, to be drunk by trunks, extending and dangling roots who drink tomorrow. Water pulled up through cells on high toward the sky. Vertical progress is soundless, but still avoidable. Moving through the woods slowly, the sounds behind me are more dangerous than the rain falling. The rain falling, being caught by branches and slowly dripping to the ground and rocks, echoes in my mind, thinking rather it is instead a bear, or worse still, human. My footsteps patter in the silence, crushing it out of sound. I am left safe by myself, then with you beside me. I guess that means more in my head than in yours. When I'm alone, I hear them on the trail behind me. Footsteps on wet dirt and rocks. The silence makes it become real. The words mean more unsaid, resting in their place in my mind, preparing what I should think before it is thought. Those words are silent, even though they are not. Silence to you, but not to me. The echo resounds in me, into the flesh of my mind. Silences, 3 of them. All right, the next section of poems is called Words. So the one I chose from this section is called Once Cautious. I used other words yesterday. I didn't show them to anyone. I didn't use them to communicate, because that's what words are for. Sometimes words don't get used for sharing thoughts. You get scared. The thoughts fade away, melting into nothing. They are nothing, not anymore. They are alive. You should ask me sometime. I have shown words to you alone. I say I'm not afraid now, but I might be later. Conscious, not scared. Once cautious. Thank you. And this is going to be the last one I read. It's from a section called Time. So all these poems are about time. The one I chose is called Jokes and Meanings. Hopefully this one's more upbeat. Jokes and meanings. Implications mean nothing, like the seeds of time. There is no joke that would imply innocence over all the guilt that weighs against time. Time isn't born, it stands eternal, without implying the past or future, always changing with each click. We bring ourselves down long enough to rise back, never implying innocence, but begging instead for mercy. Even when the hands lie broken below the numbers, they still count. Pleading for assistance. Pleading for assistance in motion forward or the pullback. Say if it is mean. No. Say it if you mean it. Sorry, jokes and meanings. Thanks, guys.